that's where we seen the wisps, and I actually saw more than wisp. I saw like ground level, like they were on all fours. All of a sudden my eyes would focus on them, like that is, and then as soon as I knew what it was, it just bolted. I mean, it was in a blink. I knew the direction it went, but it was gone in a blink of an eye. So everybody's looking in this one direction, and I have a habit of, once everybody's focused in one direction, I turn around and I look at the other way. I heard Kevin like, what the is, and then Wayne was, what the, and so I'm like, okay, I'll bite. And I turn around and I look at them, and they're looking up in the skies. The thing was like right above me, not at a 90, but it was just out a little ways. But it was basically directly above us. And this thing just went steadily across the sky. It didn't curve with the earth, and that's what it was. And I watched it until it, and then it was, you could see it, then you couldn't. You see it, it was the sun hitting it or whatever, and then it was gone. But it was a good minute and a half.
Welcome back to the Eye of Jupiter podcast. I'm your host. Today we have on Kevin Keeney from the Arizona 4 or Arizona Sasquatch. Reached out to me, said he has an incredible story to tell me about. We got some pictures here. Hope you guys are going to enjoy this episode. If it's your first time here, first of all, welcome to the show. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have been subscribed, make sure that you are still subscribed. Become a member, get episodes early, get the second tier, and you get anything over an hour that I record. So, with all that out of the way, all links in the description below, and let's welcome to the Eye of Jupiter one more time, Mr. Kevin Keeney.
Well, hey, Tom. Hey, everybody out there. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for coming on, man. How's it been?
Well, it's been good, and we finally got some long overdue rain over the past week and a half, and we just got done being hammered, and we still might get a little thunder in the background, but probably just got at least 3 inches, so definitely needed.
Yeah, it's been we've hit the rainy season, got a couple thunder boomies that come through every evening. It's been hotter than hell down here, like I don't know, in the mid 90s with 70% humidity, but that's normal down wherever I'm over here on the Yucatan Peninsula. It's been very nice. I've been enjoying it. Working as always, being a tutor, and just enjoying life, man. So Kevin, not Kevin. You're not Kevin. Yeah, you are Kevin. Kevin, do me a favor.
I'm a lot of things.
Yeah, I was thinking of Chris. So I got Chris in my head. Do me a favor, man. Tell everybody one more time a little bit about yourself, how you started this, and we'll get into what you wanted to present to me today.
All right. So I'm a father of 4, grandfather of 16, Desert Storm combat veteran, served 5 years in the Army. I'm retired now, and my retirement allows me the time to go out and do what it is I do. So back in 2017, had on a family camp out, had some things happen that got me in the world of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, forest people is what I call them. And since then, have put an exuberant amount of time out in the field, boots on the ground, and have developed, best way to say it, a level of trust with about six or seven different family groups up here along the Mogollon Rim, central Arizona, and that's the Reader Digest version. So.
Yeah, they're the quick bridge version. If you guys want to go back and check out, Kevin's been on 2 times, live 1 time. I don't do lives anymore. You guys know that because what happened was 5 out of 6 weeks, people either didn't show up or they canceled last minute. And I was like, you know what? I don't need this kind of headache. I can do the pre-records, make sure I stay ahead a little bit. That way, if someone, something comes up, which has happened sometimes, basketball games, all kind of weird stuff. I decided to just go ahead and do the pre-records. That way I know everyone's comfortable and we can always kind of move things around a little bit. Yeah, so go ahead and check those out. So you reached out to me like a week ago, and I think I was in the middle of actually recording my last podcast with Mr. Al Santoriga there, and you were like, I got something for you, man. Do you want to go ahead and tell people? So you go up every year to the Mogollon Rim after the snow melts, and you start. What is it? Do you have a camping excursion? What do you do up there?
Well, I just spend a lot of time out there. The last couple of years have been a lot more sporadic than what they were in the beginning. But we have multiple different locations. And when I say we, the Arizona 4, I kind of started out almost a solo mission with this, and it's kind of morphed into what it is now. And so we have Rob Copeland. He's ex-Navy. He served in submarine service. Wayne Dillon, he's ex-Army, infantry. Chris Kramer, we all know Chris Kramer, lovely man.
Wonderful Chris Kramer.
Yeah. And so Chris is the only one in the group that's not a veteran, but we tolerate him over that. So
I understand, buddy. I'm a former vet myself. You know that.
Yeah. But no, Chris is an integral part of our team, and there's a lot of checks and balances that go on between us all, because we're not all on the same page 100% of the time of what's actually going on. I mean, we're all experiencing the same thing, but we check each other, we test each other, and it just makes the whole thing work. So
right,
so and then myself, and so that's the gist of the Arizona 4. I'm also known as Arizona Squatch. That's what I originally started under. So the particular location up on the rim that we call Hilltop, just a lot of activity up there. Matter of fact, that's where I met Rob. He'd been camping up there at that point 25 years, and that's 5 years ago. So he's been in that spot for 30 years. And, so he goes up there with his wife and some friends, and the friends of his aren't really into the squatching thing. And so when Rob's up there with his wife, they're doing their family thing, and sometimes we're up there on site, kind of camped a little ways away from them. And once in a while, he might sneak out and come hang out with us for a little bit. But this particular trip, I decided I wanted to go out and camp out on the knoll, which is a couple of 100 yards away from where I normally set up my camp. And Chris was supposed to come up, but Chris ended up having some vehicle issues, and so he wasn't able to make this trip. Wayne, he came up for a day trip and did a night sit, the night that's in question here, and I'll get into it. I'm just setting up the preface to this.
Absolutely, yes. Please.
Because this preface to it is very, very important to the whole part of the story. So anyway, I get out there, I get my camp set up, and then I go over and I talk to Rob for a little bit. And I've never camped in this particular spot. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in that area, just not that spot. So I go over and I'm talking to Rob, and he says, I had some mind speak last night before you got up here. Him and his wife been up there a few days before I got there. And he said, I was told that I'm supposed to come sit out with you. And I said, all right, well, if you can get away, come sit out with me, not thinking anything about anything. Excited that maybe Rob's going to come sit with me. And so the first night I'm sitting out, and I have mild activity. And when I say mild activity, a couple of knocks, a couple of twinkle lights. I could hear voices at one point back behind me, and I could hear the bipedal footsteps, and so it was just mild activity. And and sometimes I got to remind myself my idea of mild activity to another person would be off the chart. But when we have off the chart stuff happen, it makes stuff like this, look, just mild activity. So I would have classified that first night as like, maybe a 1 or a 2 at tops. And I ended up going to bed fairly early, because it'd been a long day and just wasn't much activity going on to speak of. And so I went to bed early. And so the next day I was over talking to Rob, telling him what had happened. And then Wayne comes out. And so we're hanging out, and Wayne's deciding that, I'm definitely going to stay and sit out for the night, and then I'll just go home when we're done with the night sit. Because Wayne and myself, we live fairly close to this area, within an hour and a half, so it's not that big of a deal to zip in and zip out.
Okay.
And then Rob says, I'm going to try and come over and sit with you guys tonight. Well, that would be great. And, hopefully Chris gets up here. And, we still hadn't heard from Chris, that he was having vehicle issues and wasn't going to make it. And, so we'll just fast forward so I don't get, long in the tooth on this. But so it's getting close to time to sit out. Wayne and I are at my campsite. Rob's not over there yet. And we're starting to get a little bit of activity. We, got a really good knock come from down the hill. And then I see an individual about 60, 70 yards away running through the trees left to right. And I'm like, wow, this is going to be a really good night. They're absolutely around. And so Rob gets over there and so now we're real happy, but we're trying to figure out where we want to set our chairs, in which direction to look, because we've never been in this particular spot. And usually there's one area that's a lot more active than the surrounding. And so we're standing most of the night. And, we're just having really, really off the chart activity. I mean, we're seeing individuals, moving around. The sun had just set, but it's still a little bit light out. Then we got the twinkle lights, and we got the static discharge going on. At one point in time, we asked, how many of you are here, and really didn't get an answer. And so the night's going on, and we're on our feet, so we're constantly moving around, looking at different areas. And then we start seeing these little black wisps, that would go up into the air like that. And that was something absolutely new that I've never seen before. So
we have
Wayne was.
Oh, I have Rob here. One of the Arizona
folks
we're talking about just popped in.
Yeah, good.
Welcome to the show.
Made it.
Welcome, Robbie.
Hello. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Yeah,
no worries, buddy. No worries.
Around Arizona, we don't change times.
That's right. Well, I'm over here. For me, it is also 20 after 7. So yeah, close enough. Nice to meet you, Rob. It's my first time.
All right,
welcome to the show, man. Thanks for coming.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah. So since Rob just jumped in, I'll let him jump in real quick. I don't know if you heard what I was talking about, Rob. I'm at the part of the night where we were seeing the wisps, but let's jump back real quick and just tell them about the communication that you had about coming to sit out with me, because it sounds better coming from the one who got it versus me. So,
well, that was
absolutely.
Excuse, I just came in, rushed back to get here. 100 degrees. Anyway, the night before, actually I walked the dog. Yeah. We'll keep it clean. The night before, after I walked the dog, we were camping. I sat out, and I knew somebody was there. Just I was talking, whatever. But I did get that I needed to go sit out with Kevin, and so I went. Okay, I will try. And then that's the next day was when Wayne was coming up, and so I figured that was a good day to sit out with him, and it was the right day.
Okay.
So otherwise, I was gonna do like a Tuesday sit out or something like that. But
okay, what is the sit out exactly?
Well, it's just where we sit out at night. and observe, listen, BS amongst each other. So we're just sitting out. We have no campfires, no lights, sitting in absolute darkness, waiting for something or anything to happen. But at the same time, we're just having our BS sessions, I guess is the best way to put it. Ribbing on each other, what's been going on, and So go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
Well, no, that's basically it. The sit out is just we're all sitting out there and we take no mercy with each other. And if somebody shows blood, everybody else gangs up on that one. So we're great entertainment. Yeah. We're great entertainment for our forest friends.
Yeah. You know how that goes, Tom. So
yeah. All former military here, so I understand it's part and parcel for what we do. I mean, you go ahead and we had one guy at one time who had his helmet on backwards and his cat eyes were facing out the front. But he did have his shin strap on, so he got some fucking brownie points for that.
All right. Yeah. Hold on. I'm going to have to back this up. Rob was in the submarines. He was underwater. On the helmet, there's a little band on it, and there's two glow-in-the-dark tabs on the back of it. So when you're at night vision, you can see the guy in front of you as you're trailing through so the cat eyes. So, all right. But yeah, so we're going to fast forward and go back to, seeing these black wisps going up in the air.
What do you mean by that? Could you describe that a little bit? Because it's kind of weird. What do you mean, like wind? The only way I think I can describe it is, let's say you just blew out a candle and that black smoke, and it just kind of goes up like that. It was something similar to that, but much larger. I mean, so if you think about the size of, I would say the biggest one I saw, I don't know, it's 8 feet maybe, and probably 2 feet wide, and just, going like that. I don't know if it was just a different type of distortion or have you observed this before?
No.
Have you observed this before? Okay.
No, never seen that before. And, so we're enjoying the activity that we're getting. And then we finally get a little bit of communication. We asked again, how many are there? And I got 777, and I was trying to think of, well, is there 7 here? Is it 77? Or, because there was there wasn't 77 of them there, but there was a lot of individuals moving around that, that we could see going through the trees, just the dark shadows, because by now the sun is set and it's getting dark out. And, these little static discharges and twinkle lights and, it just a whole bunch of cool stuff. And Rob, was it that same night that was whistling back and forth with the one?
If it was with you and Wayne. It wasn't with me.
Okay. All right. It might have been the following night. Anyway, because they all just blend in. But so just a bunch of stuff going on. I got the name of one of them that was there that I hadn't heard the name in quite a while. And his name is Rickett, but every time he says his name, it's Rickety Rick. So I know he was around, and one of the matriarchs of the clan was there. Her name is Yaden Gen. And got a pretty good communication from her. But anyway, so Rob and I, we're sitting there having a conversation about past experience at another location that we call Crazy Town. And, I'm seeing some stuff up in the sky that was pretty remarkable. And, and I kind of aggravated Rob, because I was tired.
Remarkable,
and I was just like,
is an understatement.
Yeah. And I was just like, I'm going to bed. I don't want to deal with this. And Rob's like, you can't go to bed. But, so we're having this conversation about this and, and some other experiences. And something catches my eye, and I look up, and about the same time, the same thing caught Wayne's eye, and it was a shooting star. And, so we look up, and for a split second, and when I say a split second, I'm saying, 1/10 of a second, as fast as the mind can process it. When I looked up, I was like, a comet. But it wasn't a comet. And, yeah, Wayne can't get in. Anyway, so it wasn't a comet, and we're watching this thing going across the sky, about as fast as a satellite, maybe a little faster, depending on what its actual altitude was. Rob, you want to tell your side of it?
Oh, sure. When I started typing,
Yeah.
I was looking. Little backtrack. We were around there was a corner, the 2-track road, and this where we seen the wisps, and I actually saw more than wisp. I saw like ground level, like they were on all fours twice, big, and it was like, all of a sudden my eyes would focus on them, like that is, and then as soon as I knew what it was, it just bolted. I mean, it was in a blink. I knew the direction it went, but it was gone in a blink of an eye. So everybody's looking in this one direction. And I have a habit of, once everybody's focused in one direction, I turn around and I look at the other way. Okay. Call me paranoid or whatever you want. But, and sometimes it's paid off. But, so I started walking down the 2-track road, and we had actually had a chair in the road, and I was just kind of, arms were on the chair, and I was scanning between the ground, and there was an open area and the beginning of the tree level. And I was looking in there for, twinkle lights, and I saw a lot of static discharge that night, which I normally don't see.
Could you describe that a little bit for me, Rob? I'm sorry. What is static discharge?
Think of it like at nighttime, pitch black, and you got a blanket or a sheet, and you see little statics, like sparks. And it's just like a static discharge, and they were spread out, but it was pretty predominant, and I never really seen that much before. Okay. But this is my first time out that I got my eyes fixed, so my eye vision's a little bit better now at night. But with that aspect, I was facing north. I was looking at the tree line, but I was kind of looking down at the tree line, looking for twinkle lights and movement, because when you have the trees behind there and then you have the open grass field, if something blows across the field, you can see it'll stand out from the trees in the back. So that's where I was at. The 2 Army guys are coming up behind me, and they were on my sonar. And all of a sudden I heard Kevin like, what the is, and then Wayne was what the, and so I'm like, okay, I'll bite. And I turn around and I look at them, and they're looking up in the sky. So I was like, and then the thing was like right above me, not at a 90, but it was just out a little ways. But it was basically directly above us. And I just watched this thing, and I brought my camera for some reason, which I normally don't do, but it was off, and I knew there was no way that I was going to get my camera booted up before this thing was out. So I just watched it. I heard Kevin grabbed his, he said, I'm going to take a picture of this. He grabbed a camera, which is what you're showing now. And this thing just went steadily across the sky. It didn't curve with the earth. It just kind of went out to a point where here's when it was pretty much, we're directly under it. But as it went out farther, the angle of, you're looking at it flat, the angle of it started getting that, so you were looking more at its rear, and then it finally went to like one little light, and then squinting, and then to a point that you couldn't see it anymore.
Wow! And so it kind of like one on its end.
No. It was the same trajectory. Just if a plane's above you, you're looking at its belly, but as it goes off in the horizon, now you're looking at its exhaust.
Okay, I got you.
And that's what it was, and I watched it until it. And then it was, you could see it, then you couldn't, you see it was the sun hitting it or whatever. And then it was gone. But it was a good minute and a half. You know,
Yeah,
couldn't give you the exact amount because everybody was jaws were on the floor, and
I looked at it in so I've seen, like, for example, Elon Musk Starlink. So you can see that the camera shot is a little wiggly. So everyone listening to this, go over to the YouTube channel and check it out, guys. So you can see that it's, that the stars are around it, that there's a little wiggle. But when something's so far away and you're trying to take a picture, especially being under a sense of duress or a sense of like, wow, what the hell are we looking at? That's going to happen. But it would not okay, so let's say it's Elon Musk satellite, whatever they call it, Starlink. It wouldn't have these defined edges on the left and right side. And if you look at it, I've actually looked at it a little bit because Kevin so gratefully showed it to me. There's this little, like, it looks like a little chunk is missing out of one of the parts, like a little, how would you say, like a right angle sitting at a 45, if that makes any sense.
we talking about that dark area about a third
Yes,
of the
the
way
dark
up?
area yes, it's absolutely.
You look at that and you say, well, what is this and what is that? And all I can say, it was there. It was there. It was a steady pace. It didn't speed up. It didn't slow down. It just chugged across the skyline till it was out of sight. Couldn't tell you, what the protrusions were. It definitely wasn't Starlink. You would have all those little lines in a row. The light refraction or whatever that you're looking at, they're different sizes, they're different spacings. They're not in a line. There's as you can see, there's dark spots in there, and it's just a WTF moment. Could not, if we had a super high definition camera or something like that, maybe we'll really get some good pictures. But this was from an excited little army lad that had his camera out.
Well, I never take my phone out at night because, if it goes on, it destroys my night vision and then I can't see anything. And, so we sit in the dark, so give you a backdrop. This is on July 6th. It's at 9:29 p.m. Because I got the timestamp on the actual photo. 2 hours after the sunset.
Wow.
So some of the digging that I've done, and I'm by no means qualified, but at the same time, there's enough information via internet to be able to come up with some calculations and equations and
okay.
So bare minimum to be standing on the surface of the earth and 2 hours after the sun had set, in order for an object to still be reflecting sunlight and still be visible from the surface of the earth, minimum distance is 943 miles, something like that. So we'll just say 900 miles. We'll just round it down to 900. It goes up to 1,265, but somewhere in that general range. So just if that was 900 miles away and at an arm's reach, if I was holding up a ruler at arm's reach, that would have been an inch to an inch and a half. And doing and so now doing that equation, the mathematical equation for it, and of course AI did it all for me. That craft is between 50 to 65 miles in length. Now, with that being said, we all believe that it was much farther out than that. And when I say we all, the three of us that witnessed it, Rob, Wayne, and myself, we believe it was outside of the satellite ring. Because we didn't lose a bunch of satellites. A 50-mile craft is not going to travel through that satellite band and not knock out some satellites. So if being the key word, that's outside the satellite ring, that craft is over 1,000 miles long because the satellite ring is 12,226 miles, something like that. And so that makes that 1,000-mile craft. If that be the case, you know, you can't wrap your head around something that big. You know, you can see 90-degree angles. You can see three-dimensional shape on it,
Yes.
like superstructure.
You can even see at the very top that it like continues. It's a little darker, but you can see at the very top that it actually continues.
What I think that is at the top, and that's actually the tail end of it. And so I think it's just catching shadow from it moving, you know, because my phone, Galaxy S23 Plus, it automatically adjusts for taking a nighttime picture. So depending on ambient light, it'll, prolonged exposure. And so it had a half-second exposure. So in that half second, what you're seeing is the tracer of it, I guess would be the best way to say it.
Wayne's trying to come on. He says that the device is not. There's Chris. Okay, I got Chris.
All right.
Chris. But Wayne's having issues. Hey, Chris, how's it going, buddy?
What's up, Tommy?
Hey, bud. Yeah, Wayne's having a little bit of technical issues, but nonetheless.
Yeah, I've texted him on the fucking side. It is what it is. He's here, but he's challenged like the rest of these Moakley Doakleys sitting in here.
So we're going through like.
I thought this thing was starting in 24 minutes. What happened here?
7 o'clock Mountain.
What are we living?
Well, we're Arizona Mountain. We don't change. Mountain changes. We don't.
Right,
you're making my balls hurt.
Well,
why am I here? Honest. What's up, Tom? It's good to see you, man. Been a minute.
Good to see you, man. You're looking good, buddy. Looking good, man.
I'm like smoking. Like I like seriously. I mean, it doesn't get any more professional than this.
Yeah, I know. That's what I do, man. You know how it is.
Well, I'm sorry I'm late. I thought I was supposed to start at 7. So
we jump in and give them help.
Yeah, we'll try to make sure we find time. So
you're here,
we're
Chris,
going into to catch Chris up a little bit. We're going into the dimensions, the distance out in the dimensions with some calculations of it being just basically ginormous and the right angles of it, and the what your buddies captured there is just astounding to me.
That's
that's solid.
That's a new one for us.
Yeah. Especially with the weird wispy things that they were seeing before that. And Rob was talking about where he's possibly seen them. Well, he said he's seen them crawling around on all fours and the weirdness that was happening. And then this popping up in the sky at the same time. I mean, I don't know what that even means. You guys have any thoughts? I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, after it happened, and, and like I said, it's a minute to a minute and a half that just completely, frazzled all of us. And, so we're having all these conversations and I get the communication from Aiden again. You're meant to see that. And after she said that, everything went dead quiet. So we're standing around having a WTF moment, trying to figure out what the hell did we just see? And, everything that led up to this, and this is kind of why Chris is here, because there's so many things that happen that may happen the trip before that'll tie into this, or may happen 2 years ago that ties, it all kind of weaves in together. And, so Chris just had an amazing communication yesterday, contacted me, asked me if I got anything. And, and I'm thinking this is all tied in together because what Chris got told is an area that not very far from my house. But go ahead, Chris.
I'm still sorry. This doesn't happen to me often when I'm not on site. Almost never. And I pulled into my driveway and I got clear as bell. You need to go to West Side. That was it. And there was a female deep voice. I'm assuming it was Ian again, and but I don't know. I have
What
no
does that
idea.
mean?
So
What does that mean? West side.
that's one of our
That's another.
one of our spots,
Oh, okay. That's
kind of on the
interesting
west
that
side of the Mogollon Rim.
call
So
it- she would
go
call it
there a
what you
lot.
call it. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
We have
that's how it happened.
we've got names for every location. So it's like, hey, I'm going to West Side. Everybody knows where to go. Hey, we're going to Hilltop. Everybody knows where to go. So,
Right.
but so anyway, back to the craft real quick. Because you were talking about Starlink and so started doing some research on the Starlink, and I knew immediately it wasn't Starlink. We have seen Starlink trains multiple times while being out in various different aspects of it, close together, far apart. This was not a Starlink. So I started looking into Starlink, and the day before, Starlink did have a launch, but at 9:29 p.m., Starlink was over the mid-Atlantic or the South Atlantic and would not be visible from central Arizona that high in the sky reflecting sunlight. It just
Yeah, I seen it one time and it kind of freaked me out. I was like, what is that? And then I realized, somebody told me what it was. I was like, oh, that's what that is. Okay, so it's like a line of satellites. But like I said, when you see it, you can see, like I said, once it's a little, the shot's a little blurry. You see that the stars are not on point, but it's so far away. And of course, the moment kind of dictates that. So at the same time, there's this, weirdness to it. Okay, we finally got your buddy here.
There he is.
Hey. Hello, Wayne. Nice to meet you, sir.
Hey, good to meet you. Thanks for having us on, man.
No worries.
I'm assuming you downloaded Chrome.
I tried Chrome. It was an issue in my settings on my phone. So there's that.
Okay.
I'm just getting
going
set
through
up
this.
here.
So
you get the full
there.
Monty now, Tom.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, I got all four of you on here. I feel.
That's
honored
that's just a rarity.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time.
Yeah, it's the first time.
It's the first time. We're very rarely are we all four of us out at the same time. Actually, it's always some. I mean, sometimes.
Yeah.
Wayne, welcome to the show. First of all, my friend, thanks. Great to finally meet you. They've been talking good about you, and
No, we aren't.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and I was wondering, did you also witness this with
Kevin and Rob. Yes, I did.
Yeah, with Kevin and Rob, you were there. Mm-hmm.
Those guys.
Yeah,
Those
tell your
guys.
story, Rob.
Yeah, tell me.
My story?
No, I'm sorry, Wayne.
Well,
You
We-
Army
we were-
people.
we were out doing what we do, and we had turned around and headed back towards where we were going to sit down at, and I saw out of my upper peripheral a shooting star, and that brought my eyes up to it, and I was just about to say, Kevin, are you seeing this? And he said, oh my gosh, whatever he said, and and we all caught it about the same time. So and we watched it for I'm going to guess a good minute and a half, and it just kind of got low to the horizon where we could see the trees at the bottom of our view, and it just kind of like someone turned a dimmer switch off. It just slowly went away, gone.
Wow.
Like my idea on that was that it was high enough to be catching the rays from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the shadow that was casting from the earth. And that's where we got a little bit of our idea about how high it might have been. And either the time elapsed and it became into the shadow, or it might have changed altitude and put itself in the shadow. I don't know. It's all conjecture.
Yeah. Well, can you describe what you were feeling when you saw this, man?
No, I can't.
No, indescribable, huh?
It was awe.
That would mean he actually had feelings.
I think I used the word gobsmacked afterwards,
Yeah.
and that's not a word I even use.
Wow. Yeah, I
What you got
understand
right
that.
now is what I had then. I don't have words for it. Just the direction. It was just headed directly north to south. It was going in a line. It wasn't canted in any way, and it
Yeah.
seemed to be under intelligent control, and it seemed to be far away, and it seemed to be large, and my brain couldn't wrap around that as well as much better than it can now. So we were just for 2 days. We were just
Yeah, it looks like the sun is shining from the right.
yeah.
Correct.
That's the side that's the right side of that would be the west side as we were looking at it
Facing
in the northern
south. So
hemisphere.
you were facing south.
Yes, sir.
Okay, wow.
We caught it at about, I want to say about 80 degrees. That's my estimation, and we watched it till it was probably 40 degrees. So we watched it travel 40 degrees of
Traverse 40 degrees. Yeah, I got you. I got what you're saying.
longitude. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
40
even
degrees.
see that there's parts that are higher than others. There's right angles, like Kevin was saying.
Yeah,
It looks like
shadows.
there's like piping or whatever that would be. I was talking to a gentleman too that was recently seen. We didn't recently, but I recently had him on, and he was talking about that he's seen something when he was a kid over top of a valley in where was it? In Alaska, and he said, 7 years old, his brain went to like steam engine. It has kind of like this feel to it too. Like it seems like it's almost steampunk, for lack of a better term. Like I said, when Kevin sent it to me, I was like, I don't know what to even do with that. And yeah, it's just fascinating. You three seeing it at the same time. What happened to your truck, Chris? Would you break down? Did your timing chain
That
jump?
is a ongoing saga.
Oh, trust me, I gave up on my truck. I just sold it to my ex-wife and said, "Here, enjoy."
I love Chris. I love Chris to death, but I don't know if he's real good at picking mechanics. That's just me.
Nobody was ever going to confuse me for somebody in the fucking pit crew, and the hand thing's just about ended any fine motor skill issues that I have. So that's what I have. Two of my close friends as decent mechanics to cajole me and tell me what the fuck to do. Tell me what to do. Pardon my language.
Sorry, man.
I'm all over the place, Tom.
No, you're with your boys. You're with your boys. I got you. Yeah. So you were saying you were seeing this. It went down on a 40 degree. I'm talking to Kevin. It went down from a 40 degrees of trajectory of movement, or whatever. And then you got the mind speak that you were supposed to see this, and then everything just went away.
You're meant to see this, and then it just, all activity went at flatlined.
Anybody else get it?
Now, one thing I want to back up to.
Okay.
No, sir.
No,
Nobody else got it.
it was.
That's not uncommon.
Straight
I'm
from
just
the
asking.
again. Yeah. Now the original picture, where it's just this little streak in the sky.
Yeah.
So,
my favorite one.
When there's a harvester moon in the sky, and the harvester moon is really big, and you take out your camera and you take a picture, and you just got this little dot. It's visually kind of the same thing going on in this picture, because I still have that first glance seared in my brain. And, so if you remember what Hale-Bopp comet looked like when it was in the sky, what was it,
yeah.
2 weeks?
Yeah, in the 90s, yes.
That was my frame of that was my frame of reference, that my brain automatically went to, so that's what I'm still seeing. But visually in person, the appearance of it was larger than what you see in that
with the picture. Yes.
That picture, that little strip.
Oh, I agree. Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
So in person, it was much bigger, and like Wayne says, just gobsmacked.
Yeah, I
just
want to like.
I still don't even know how to process this.
Yeah, I understand. I want to, if you guys are willing, since I got all four of you here, there was a story. I think both Kevin and Chris told me at different points. There was a story about a time where I don't know who was where, but there was a road that you were on, and one person could see one of these forest people, and the other person couldn't. And when the other person
That's
then
Wayne.
moves to the point of view of the other one, then they could see it.
Um,
Could you go into that?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
that was one of my favorite ones.
yeah, that was.
that, I'll let
Yeah.
either Chris
Go
or
ahead,
Kevin.
Wayne.
Well, I wasn't there. I didn't know. Well, I was there. I'm not the one that witnessed it. So one of the witnesses would be better at explaining that. I'll set it up. We
Okay.
were sitting. We were on the road. We
Okay.
could tell where the road was. There wasn't much moon, but the road was a light, straight object at our feet, and two of us saw something run from right to left across the road about 30, 40 yards from where we were. So we decided to walk down that way. And when we got to about where we thought it was, we saw all these little twinkle lights in the trees and on the ground. And I was looking at those, and I saw one on the ground. It looked like a double nine domino glowing in the dark. And
Okay.
I told them about it, and I said, I'm gonna walk on over into these lights and see, just see what goes on, see what it feels like, see what happens. And I took about 3 steps to the west off the road, and it was just a calm feeling. But then I heard, Kevin, you're up.
Yeah. So Wayne actually disappeared from my vision. Yeah, it's like, Wayne, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm right here. No, you're not. I don't see you. Chris on my right, Wayne was on my left at the beginning, says, I see him just fine. I lean over to get the vantage point that Chris was in, and I could see him. I leaned back where I was at. He was absolutely gone. I could see the trees and everything behind him, but there was no Wayne. And so I grabbed Chris and I kind of drug him over, and so Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, everything that was just stated was what we were at. I would like to say that, like, when I could see Wayne, it wasn't just like so when I saw him, he was like covered in like this white staticky electric discharge, like it was all over his body. That's what I saw. And then when I moved to where Kevin was standing, he just completely disappeared from view. I think the backstory, a little bit more backstory to this, is that we decided to stretch our legs and kind of head down this kind of road trail, and I didn't see, but Kevin and Wayne watched some bipedal thing, probably about 50 yards in front of us, maybe not quite that far, like run across the trail from as we're looking from right to left. So the thinking was we were going to walk down to where we thought this entity had come from and see if we see what we could see. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? So we get down there, and right in the area where we believe this guy came out of, there was a whole bunch of what we call the twinkle light effect going on, like this kind of light manifestation that seems to kind of coincide with them being around for whatever reason, whatever that is, right? So Wayne decides to walk into the spot where we saw this guy exit from, and that is when, from Kevin's vantage point, he literally took like 4 or 5, maybe 7 steps and like blinked out, like he just wasn't there. Now I was standing off to the right. I could see him, but he was covered in that staticky discharge. And when we're talking to him, he's responding, but it sounds like he's talking through a sock. Like it wasn't, it was muffled. And then he backs out of it, right? And reappears in front of us again, and doesn't seem to have like any sort of, strange after effect as a result of it, So like, that was the gist of what happened. It was a new one. It was odd. I don't know that we could ever define it. There's a lot of commonly bandied around. Oh, we saw him step out of a portal. I don't know that to be true. I don't even, like to me, that word is so overused for something that maybe they can do by themselves. I don't know, but I think the consensus was that whatever that energy is, when he walked out of it, it was like what was just some like residual discharge from that happening. That's what maybe I think it may have been. I don't know that. Like we don't really have any idea, but that was the gist of it. It was a really weird one, for lack of a better term. I don't think I missed anything there, but if I did, let me know.
Well, I believe I thought and felt the same thing when we got to the area with all those twinkle lights, different colors. They were all over. There was, hundreds of them, and it looked like the residual. It just looked like residual energy. If you were just to look at it and wonder what was going on, what made it, how long it stayed, what it looked like before we got there, no idea.
And it hasn't repeated itself.
Okay,
so I
know. Before as I understand, you guys have been doing this for quite a while, at least 5 years, and maybe some longer than others, of course. I know you were kind of, especially at the beginning, Chris, was where I first met Chris during this with you gentlemen. And why are you guys stepping forward now? Is there something that is happening, or are you trying to give some type of, you're just showing your experiences, trying to get the the information that you've or whatever it is, whatever the experiences that you've run across out there, so that more people have a better understanding of them, not just being some dumb ape in the forest? Or what exactly is your reasoning for doing what you're doing now?
Well,
that's a good question.
I don't think we didn't step forward.
Yeah,
We've always been there. It's just Kevin originally had a first website, and we just kept doing what we're doing. We did the.
I think initially we were very reticent about placing names to faces. When we first started realizing that this was a little bit more than just your average kind of experience interaction type things, we were looking for an honest platform to kind of put our stories out there. And Robbie actually coined the phrase the Arizona Four, which was an anonymous collective, so that when we started emailing Steve Ishtal, who we had and still have respect for, and thought that he had the right platform for this type of knowledge dump or whatever we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, for a while we were very more private. I and Kevin,
Chris, you're breaking up pretty bad.
Kevin and I have both.
Okay, I thought it was just me.
No, Chris, you're breaking up really bad.
Yeah, Chris.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Okay, try now.
What's that?
That's the same. That's the same. Okay, maybe Rob, you could speak to that a little bit about what you're, because
I wonder if that's it. All right.
Yeah, it's not working very well, buddy. Well, I kind of get the gist of what you're saying, but I want to make sure that the people out there hear it. Rob, go ahead and please.
Not trying to go into too much detail, but we were doing our thing, just experiencing them, and the subject will come up of different people that different websites that we respect, and then other ones it's like well, if we don't respect them, we don't watch them, whatever. But Steve's site was one of them. And I did the first email into him, which was "Don't pee on trees," and I was kind of surprised he did it, but I signed it Arizona 4. I just figured, give us a name instead of saying Rob or whatever. So I did Arizona 4, and it just kind of took off from there. Except for took Chris a while to come to. Don't say anything because you're breaking up. But
am I still breaking up?
Distance was futile.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Oh man, what's it like being Chris around four former military veterans? Does that bother you at all? Or does that make you feel comfortable?
No, I'm a convicted felon, so I stand right in there with both of them, all of them.
He's like, we're on 3 on the bottom, and he's the guy on the top of the picture.
Yeah, it's all
Convective
cool.
fell
It's
on
all
it.
cool. So I mean, like this is one for the what you guys come on here to talk about today. This is one for the lack of a better term, ages. I've never seen, because you hear about these things. You hear a lot about like during Sasquatch sightings or forest people sightings. These life phenomenon or even orbs, and you also hear like this connection with like maybe UFOs. But this is the first time that I have seen it being documented, or at least presented. I know you guys are very careful about the way you talk, which is great. I really respect it, honestly. I mean, what do you think this is? Like, before we get you up at her, what do you guys think this was, or what's going on?
Well, if I can,
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff
Well,
people say when there's
go ahead,
UFOs
Rob.
and when there's UFOs and the Bigfoot and stuff, they say they see a UFO, they say a Bigfoot with the UFO, or the UFO is really, really close. This thing was not really, really close. This thing was
Right.
way
There we
out
are.
there. And I
Great
think
point.
the clan that got us to go there, and I'm sure they didn't rip off Chris's fender, but they wanted him there. But I think they were there to witness it just as well. I think that they were there
Okay.
to watch it. I don't think they had nothing to do with it. They just somehow knew it was going to be there, and they said, "Hey, boys, look." And we're like, "Wow, what the shit is that?" But
Yeah.
my opinion is this. A lot of times, as I said, people are saying that they saw one come from a craft and stuff. This isn't it. They knew this was going to be scooting by, and they had to know it in ahead of time, because they got Kevin to come up. I was already going to be there. They actually told me to go sit out with them, and somewhere Wayne got I'm go up this day. He could have went up Tuesday, but so I think I wouldn't get locked on. This is a confirmation that they're tied to UFOs or whatever. I think they just watched it.
Yeah.
And this thing was so far out there, whatever it was, like, wouldn't have detected them. I don't know. You start getting into crazy, what ifs, but I think they
you
were
can
there.
fathom.
They were there to look at it just like we were. That's my opinion.
I lost all my sound.
Other guys, I don't know. What you think?
Well, the amazing part about it, and like I was saying at the beginning, for everything to work the way it did, and us be in the exact spot that we were at the exact time to look up to see this thing, if we had been camped over in our normal spot, couple hundred yards away, because of tree cover, we'd have never seen it. Pretty much any of our other locations, we probably wouldn't have seen it. And so just the fact that
I have no sound, in
pardon
case
the
anybody
pun,
can hear
all
me.
the stars lined
I
up.
don't know what anyone's saying.
We can hear you. We can hear. Oh.
But so everything lined up exactly right for us to be able to witness that. And then I get that communication, you were meant to see this. Like Rob said, and that's a very good possibility that they wanted us there along with them to witness this event. What was this event? My biggest thing is, where did it come from? Where's it going? Who's driving the machine? And where did they get the material to build a craft like that? How long did it take? I mean, this, I've seen, the little zips going around up in the sky. I've seen triangle crafts. I've seen one that looked like a kite. I've got a photograph of one of those metallic spheres, kind of half blinking out into a cloud. I've seen a lot of stuff up in the sky, and I just don't
seen
talk
those.
about it that much, because it's just, everybody's seeing it. This thing is just that it's off the charts. It's off the charts. And we were joking around. Only 5 people on the planet saw it. The 3 of us and 2 guys at NORAD that saw it, that nobody will believe them. You know. So, but you know how many? You know,
I've got no sound.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
I got
we
you
go.
back. I got you
Yeah, it
back.
kind of
now.
goes in and out a little bit. I don't know.
I've been
if,
having major technical issues here.
Yeah, it is. It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I've had. When
I
I've
can't
had
hear
that-
anybody.
I don't know. I don't know. What about you,
There we
Wayne?
are.
Are you still there?
I
Wayne?
just shut it down and started it back up, and everything's going good again now.
Okay. So, all right. Let's.
Tom,
get to
can
the
you hear
questions.
me?
Yes,
Because
sir.
I can't hear anybody but Wayne.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Everybody else can hear you if you can hear me.
I can hear you, but I can't hear Rob, Kev, or Tom.
Well,
I haven't said anything.
Funny how these things happen on shows like this when you're talking about stuff like this, you know?
it happens all the time. Ooh. All right. So, all right, guys. So, tell me
Seriously.
what's next for you guys. What's next for you guys? You gotta. We're just
Well,
gonna
I
keep
wanna-
doing what
It's
you're
a
doing.
good thing I'm a good lip reader.
Oh, let's not go there.
I got
would
nothing,
like
man.
I would like to add in a little bit to what Rob was saying earlier, and preface to say that we all have our own ideas and our own thoughts, and we don't always agree. A lot of times we don't agree, but none of us have the we're not able to say, oh, you're wrong, right? You can't, because who's nobody is an expert on this subject. There are some people that have more experiences than others, and we have experiences on a fairly regular basis. We're not here to try to prove anything. We're just here at this point to share our experiences. And before, it was just a closed knit 4 guys, 5 guys, whatever, back and forth here and there, that just experienced and talked about ourselves. And we never wanted to really be seen. We had no desire for that. But things move on as they do. Progression progresses, and here we are, trying to just share, not
Right.
trying to prove anything, not trying to get any evidence. That's why I didn't have my phone. My phone was off, and it was in my Jeep. Kevin's was in his pocket, and it was off. I couldn't get mine in time to take a picture of that thing, but Kevin, luckily, his came on, and he got a picture.
That's fantastic.
So we tell them, we won't lie to them. That's what we tell them. No weapons, no lights.
Yeah.
And come to us and.
Well, we're not trying to sneak pictures of them.
Right.
Absolutely not. No, that's when you lose their trust, and you're not going to have regular interactions or experiences if they don't trust you. You might catch something off once in a while, and most of the things that happen to us, I would say a lot of the things that happen to us, anybody that wasn't in our group or somebody else that's just interested in the subject would be just completely mind blown that happened. And for us, it's just a Tuesday,
Yeah.
and so we're not bragging about anything. We're just trying to share what we experience, and that's what we
Right.
are. We're experiencers.
Fantastic. So I want to thank each and every
Yeah,
one of you gentlemen.
need for providing evidence for other people is that ship sailed a long time ago. It really did. Wayne's right. I think that as this topic has drifted more into the mainstream from the fringe, people that have had the type of encounters and experiences that we have, and not in an arrogant way, but I don't know but a handful of people that can even claim that. You know what I mean? And so that in itself is unique. It's truth about our world, our life, and I think we had to come to the grips to the fact that it would be a travesty not to share it and not to, you know, provide some sort of like, you know, information, whatever. Like Wayne just said, we don't all agree on everything, but the reality of it is that we're all bonded by the common experiences of it, and you know, it's super special, and you know, and it's worth putting out there on some level. You know what I mean? I don't think any of us is going to try and make money as a Sasquatch experiencer anytime soon. Our channel is, you know, it's there for documentation. We don't make content just for the sake of making content. Very rarely, we just don't do it. You know, like and if there's something worth putting out, we'll put it out there. You know, like Kevin's been in the public arena off and on for a while. I have for many years, but as a group, that this is a first. Actually, this is an absolute first that the four of us have been on screen with anyone. Tommy, I'm glad I was with you, brother. You know,
Yeah,
I was there when you started, kid.
Kevin was like,
anyway, I'll
we'll
shut up
see
now.
what happens. We'll see what happens. I got Kevin's here.
I can't hear anybody but
Rob
Wayne,
might
by the way.
come.
So I'm just like,
this
is what deaf
see what
people must
happens.
do.
We'll figure it out and see who does what. But yeah, it's all good. I feel honored. I thank you so very much, Kevin, for reaching out to me. Rob, Wayne, it's nice to finally meet both of you. I've heard about so much about you guys. Yeah, I'm not worth listening to, I suppose.
I'll fill if I'm the only one here he can hear. I'll fill him in.
Yeah, you'll translate to him.
Chris, Tom is making really good jokes and talking bad about you.
Yeah,
that's all. That's going on right now. So it's good that you don't hear.
And now he turned his microphone off. It's all good. Okay, gentlemen. Where can people find your channel, Kevin? Tell people where they can find your channel, where they can go and see what you guys are, putting out there.
Okay, the Arizona 4 Sasquatch Experiencers on YouTube.
This is awful. Wayne, can you hear me?
We've got a private Facebook.
Yes.
We've got a private Facebook
because I can't hear anybody.
Or it's a private group, and that's the Arizona 4, and then there's my original channel, Arizona Squatch. So you can find all this stuff on there. I don't do a lot on the.
I can't hear anybody but you, Wayne. I can't hear Kev, Tom, or Robbie. I don't know what Rob's saying. Shut up.
Everybody can hear you. Hey, Kevin, I will add just a little of that on the Facebook page. It's AZ4, just AZ4, the number 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough, gentlemen. Fair enough.
Okay.
That's awesome. That was fantastic. Who knows what you guys caught, what that is, what it implies. Let people go ahead and let their minds run. We're just here to present what it is that we've experienced, and that's to help people get it out there. That's always been my motif, is to make people, because some of these things can be very, some people have had very, how would you say, off-putting experiences, and I always wanted to feel comfortable to step forward. You guys have always been very forthcoming with me, and I really appreciate the fact that you all came on today, and I got to finally meet the other.
I need a translator.
Yeah, I mean, I speak 3 languages. It is English that I'm speaking.
He says he's happy we're here, and he likes all of us,
except for me. Up yours, Thomas.
I would like to extend an invitation if you were so inclined to come out here and spend a day or two with us. And
I would love to.
He's got to come up from the jungles of Mexico. Homie.
Yeah,
wait.
Everyone has to come up from somewhere.
You in the service? What
He's an expat.
Army, U.S. Army.
He lives in the ruins near Chichen Itza.
I'm former U.S. Army soldier. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yes, former U.S. Army soldier. Yes, I made it to E4. Took my 4 years. Got out. I'm finally getting a little bit of VA help for my back. See what they do with my head. And I got to go see my dad. I haven't seen him in a very long time. So that's the next step. Get my passport done right now. Once I get back, I finally can buy a truck. That way I have some vehicles. And then once that's all kind of get my land, I got some crazy land out here I've had some weird experiences on. Once all that's kind of going, then I'll come up and see you guys. I could I
You're in
can't think of none
Pennsylvania?
less. Excuse me?
You're in Pennsylvania?
No, Mexico.
Oh, right next to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, right, it's right there on the border.
Yeah.
Just south of the border of Pennsylvania and Mexico.
Right.
I've been to that port.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I got to get out of here. I hope you guys had a good time. I really appreciate you came on, Kevin. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. Nice to meet both you, Rob and Wayne, and Chris. It's a pleasure. Okay, so
Chris,
Chris,
I have
has
no
been
idea
on
what
it.
anybody's saying, Wayne.
yeah, it's all good.
He said it was a pleasure. Thanks for being on. And don't call him. He'll call you.
No, Tom, I'll call you.
That's good, buddy. All good. We'll do it. We'll hook it up.
I'll call you.
I'm just translating. That's all I'm here for.
Like I said, Tom, I'll
Doing
be
a great
down there
job.
again last week in August. Actually, I'm leaving Monday for the other side for 4 nights. Rocky Point. These guys won't cross the border.
Okay, it's
Never.
all good. All right, guys. Thank you all very much. Remember, everybody, we are the eye, we are the where. Love you all. And don't forget to check out the Arizona 4. Thank you all very much for coming on tonight. See you later.
Thanks for the opportunity.
It was my pleasure, Rob. Later, guys.
Peace out.
See you.